Many people have asked Stuart and I what it's been like over the past year traveling with my 91-year-old mother. While she is healthy in both mind and spirit, she has some physical limitations, mostly related to speed and stamina. As a result, we've been choosing cruises to visit new international destinations. As a change of pace, we thought we'd mix things up and revisit one of our favorite parts of the states, a journey through America's red rock country of Arizona and Utah. This meant making all our own lodging and transportation arrangements while creating an experience we could all three enjoy together. Every place we visited had either accommodations for seniors or were designed for easy access. We are Stuart and Rainey of the GloveTrotters, active senior travelers chasing adventure one trip at a time. Our journey began with our early morning flight out of Orlando, high over the southern states, the South Midwest, and eventually arriving at our destination in Phoenix. After checking into our hotel, we had the afternoon to ourselves. We had previously visited the Desert Botanical Gardens, so we opted for a short hike around the Hole in the Rock and Papago Park just minutes away. Hole in the Rock is one of Phoenix's iconic natural phenomenon. This sandstone butte features an eroded eye-shaped hole along the top. You can stay in the parking lot and enjoy the view or walk around the rock. From the rear, you can walk right into the hole itself and enjoy scenic views of the Phoenix skyline, the zoo, and Papago Park. The park, located at the base of the rock, has a tranquil fishing lagoon stocked with catfish, trout, and a visiting mallard. Mexican fan palms line the water's edge, creating perfect reflections of the clear blue sky and the iconic buttes. We even somehow got an appearance on a local Arizona TV program. The following day, we spent exploring Old Town Scottsdale. Old Town is a wonderful mix of open spaces, eclectic art, imaginative statues, colorful characters, and visiting old friends. Our first stop was the iconic Grand Canyon. It's best you give yourself at least a few days in this jaw-dropping natural wonder. Despite the size and depth of the Grand Canyon, there are plenty of options when traveling with a senior with limited mobility or even a wheelchair. No matter where you stay, there is a bus line that will connect you to almost anywhere you wish to go along the accessible southern rim. The Red Route provides access to the best scenic overlooks along the western south rim, stretching from the village to Hermit's Rest. The Orange Line hubs at the Visitor Center with additional stops at Mather Point, the absolutely stunning Yavapai Point, and out to the furthest stop of Yaqui Point. The Central Blue Line connects you with lodging, dining, campgrounds, the Visitor Center, and the Grand Canyon Village. Around the park, keep an eye out for some of the park's permanent residents. But let's be honest, it's the overlooks that make the Grand Canyon an unforgettable experience. You can hop on and off the bus at any of the South Rim's 13 stops and usually only be a few steps from spectacular views. From Hermit's Rest to the west to Yaqui Point in the east, every overlook reveals some new visual experience. The canyon takes on different personalities, from the easterly shadows of early morning, the midday sun directly overhead, the colors of the late afternoon all the way to sundown. The outlooks that jut out over the valleys like Hopi Point and Pima Point provide the best vista views, while the inner stops like the Abyss, the deepest part of the park, and Bright Angel allow for more expansive views of the massive rock formations rising up from the canyon floor. Honestly, there's no wrong way to experience the magnificent Grand Canyon. After 2.5 days on the South Rim, we headed east with stops at the expansive Moran Point, the iconic Navajo Point with its views of the Colorado River, and to the east, a sighting of our last Grand Canyon stop, the almost century-old Watchtower of Desert View. It's a short quarter-mile walk to the tower, a 70-foot stone structure completed in 1932 to resemble an ancient ancestral Pueblan tower and the last magnificent views of the miraculous Grand Canyon. Our 2-hour drive north featured Mother Nature at her best. From yellow hills and red clay, rolling mounds of the painted desert badlands, and towering buttes, as well as ancient red sandstone cliffs and the towering Vermilion cliffs of Marble Canyon. You see the Echo Cliffs stretch from east to west as you enter Antelope Pass and its magnificent Navajo sandstone monoliths. A bit over 2.5 hours from the Grand Canyon is the world-famous Horseshoe Bend. The main parking lot holds around 140 vehicles and includes separate spaces for RVs and buses, plus restrooms and shade shelters. From the lot, there's a winding packed sand path which runs gradually downhill that, if you take your time, makes for a pretty easy walk. If you get tired, there are 2 covered rest stops along the route. The bend started developing about 5 million years ago as the Colorado River became entrenched during the uplift of the Colorado Plateau. The overlook itself sits on a horseshoe-shaped meander made up of Navajo sandstone, a reddish-orange rock layer deposited about 190 million years ago during the Jurassic period. The sandstone on the northeast side of the rim features what is called cross-bedding, formed by windblown sand dunes hardened over time. The rock platform rises roughly 1,000 feet above the river, offering a breathtaking, nearly vertical view down into Glen Canyon. You'll see plenty of younger visitors taking pictures on the edge, but we don't recommend it. Be aware the rim can get real crowded, but you can always find an open spot to get a great view. Back in the car, our journey through Navajo Nation land brought us through the town of Page and more fascinating Navajo sandstone formations, as well as the wide layered sandstone butte, Lichee Rock. There continued to be a variety of Navajo sandstone rocks scattered along the north side of AZ 98 eastbound. A bit further on, we saw the impressive flat-top square butte along with a line of 4 slender sandstone features collectively known as Finger Rock. After more impressive Navajo sandstones and yet another square butte, we officially entered Monument Valley. The first sign was the small Agatla Peak. Then over a small rise was the massive Agatla Peak to the east, its neighbor to the west, Observer Rock, and the iconic Owl Mesa straight ahead. These peaks are both ancient eroded remnants of volcanic activity and are considered sacred by the Navajo people. We then entered the gateway to Monument Valley, with its views of Eagle Mesa, Sentinel Mesa, Bear and Rabbit, Big Indian, and the iconic Mitchell Butte. We soon arrived at our home for the next few days, Gildings Lodge, checked in, did some quick laundry, grabbed a few necessary groceries, and enjoyed an amazing sunset highlighted by a stunning daytime moon. We were up at the crack of dawn, ready for a full day with our Navajo guide. Our ride arrived, and off we went to tour Monument Valley. On the way into the park, we were greeted by Mitchell Butte, Gray Whiskers, and Mitchell Mesa. Our first stop was the Mittens and Merrick Butte viewpoint, with the mighty Mitchell Mesa towering behind us. After saying hello to the 3 sisters, we arrived at the Erickson Clay Memorial, with views of the valley framed by Sentinel Mesa to the west and Elephant Butte to the east. The highlight of the stop is John Ford's Point, named after the famed Hollywood director. At the foot of the mighty Thunderbird Mesa, we experienced a Navajo ritual sweatshop with guidance from a local elder, a truly moving experience. Next were the arches. The Big Hogan Arch is a massive circular opening within a butte that strikingly resembles the shape of a traditional Navajo dwelling. Next door is Moccasin Arch, recognized for its unique curved shape, which is said to resemble the toe of a moccasin boot. The dramatic ear of the Wind Arch is known for its tall, slender opening that is often compared to a giant perforated earlobe. Finally, the 20-foot wide, perfectly named Sun's Eye Arch, deep inside Mystery Valley, is a classic example of a keyhole arch. As we headed back, we saw massive mesas, hand-shaped pinnacles and totem poles, the iconic Camel Butte, and the spire known as the Thumb. West Mitten and Merritt Buttes come into view, followed by East Mitten. The best views of the valley are from the terrace of the easily accessible Monument Valley Visitor Center. Inside, there's a gift shop with plenty of original Navajo jewelry, handcrafted pottery, a light restaurant, a small museum, a hotel, and a balcony with yet another spectacular view. It's worth spending a few days exploring all that the Monument Valley Navajo Tribal Park has to offer and experience a singular and one-of-a-kind destination overflowing with natural beauty. A quick visit to the Gildings Trading Post, including a cool little museum and one last spectacular Monument Valley sunset, and we were ready to move on to our next adventure. We got off to an early start to our next stop, Goosenecks State Park in Utah. Heading north along US 163, we got a better view of some of Monument Valley's more northern rocks, like King on his Throne, Brigham's Tomb, and the 900-foot aptly named monolith Stagecoach. Our journey took us past Alhambra Rock, Red Rock Desert Formations, and a cool balanced rock. We arrived at Goosenecks State Park just before 9 a.m. The park is really just an open parking lot with amazing views just feet away looking down into the entrenched meanders of the San Juan River. The winding river flows over 5 miles, yet only advances 1 linear mile. Located near the town of Mexican Hat, the 1,000-foot deep Goosenecks provide a panoramic view that, while maybe less famous than the nearby Horseshoe Bend, is equally impressive for its display of geology and the persistent forces of erosion. If you look southwest, you can see a few of Monument Valley's spires and buttes in the distance. Back on the road and heading north to Moab, we encountered stunning roadside scenery of colossal red sandstone buttes and mesas rising up from the desert floor. The drive reveals striking white and brown mesa formations carved with rugged horizontal layers. We saw towering rock monoliths like Church Rock and passed foothills overlooking a grouping of wind turbines. Continuing on the US 191 north, leads us through a shifting desert panorama of large humped sandstone formations and distant mountain mesas. The earth tones deepen and layers become more prominent, with rounded sandstone hills rising from the desert floor. Soon we see massive exposed sandstone slopes and the iconic Moab Rim Arch. Finally, we're surrounded by the dramatic serrated ridge of the Moab Rim, a towering collection of desert spires and cliffs that welcomes us to historic Moab, Utah. If you enter the gates of Arches National Park before 7 a.m., you can both avoid the entry fee and enjoy a peaceful sunrise. We chose the Garden of Eden with its cluster of sandstone formations, fins, and hoodoos to start. You can enjoy the view from the parking lot or climb up into the rock formations and explore rocks called Adam and Eve, Owl Rock, and the Devil's Golf Ball. If you look back toward the parking lot, you get a magnificent view of Hames Buttress or Ham Rock. We then drove to the end of the Windows Road just in time to see the sun creep through the north window arch. Parking fills up quickly, so early arrival is key. We then started our hike, walking the main, mostly gentle 1-mile loop trail to stand right beneath the massive north window, enjoying the view to the east. Continuing on, we looped to the immense south window and then reached the castle-like turret arch. We walked down to the short, accessible out and back trail leading to the towering 112-foot pothole arch called Double Arch. It's the tallest arch in Arches National Park and was featured in the opening scene of the 1989 film Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Reversing course, we passed by the remarkable window section gateway cluster. Back on the main drag, our next stop was the elevated panorama point and the rugged maze of the Fiery Furnace. Further on, you can experience the iconic Delicate Arch a few different ways. For the young, there's a 2-hour rugged hike all the way to the arch. Further down Delicate Arch Road, there are a few more accessible options. There is a lower arch viewpoint near the parking lot, or a 1-mile loop trail that leads to the upper Delicate Arch viewpoint. From the top of the hill, you get a nice view of the arch. You can explore a little higher to get a closer perspective. After one last look at this arch's icon, our next stop was the Salt Valley Overlook, which provides great views of the Fiery Furnace, a name inspired by the red rock fins glowing brightly every sunrise and the sweeping vista of the Salt Valley below. Its huge basin formed by the collapse of the underground salt bed that created the park's famous arches. Driving on, we got an up-close view of the Fiery Furnace before encountering the massive sandstone Fins Rock, within which is the fantastic sand dune arch. The arch is just minutes from the parking lot via a flat path you can slowly walk your way through or simply opt to run up and around. Once through, there's a labyrinth of wide-open paths, bright red sand surfaces leading to hidden tunnels, an abundance of narrow paths to discover and get lost in, and plenty of red stone rocks to climb. A short and stunningly beautiful 2-mile loop trail takes you across packed dirt and open sandy areas alongside an impressive cluster of sandstone fins. The destination is the so-called Broken Arch. Ironically, the arch is actually still intact, though it has a noticeable fissure. A climb to the top gets you a closer look at the fissure and provides amazing views of the valley below. The Devil's Garden Campground Road is worth a drive through to see the towering sandstone fins and massive concentration of arches and spires from the comfort of your car. Skyline Arch is visible from the main road with a small parking pull-off area and a short, gentle, rocky uphill slope trail. The arch actually doubled in size when a large section of rock fell off in 1940. Rising up on the southern horizon is one of the park's most popular features, the Balanced Rock. It has its own parking lot, and the rock clusters are easily visible. Located just to the west of the Garden of Eden, the Balanced Rock stands at an impressive 128 feet and is estimated to weigh 3,600 tons. Continuing south, we pass the Poodle, the Phallus Pillar, the impressively massive Great Wall, and the petrified Dunes viewpoint. The final stop at Courthouse Towers features monumental erosion-sculpted rock features, including the sheer column of the organ, the rugged sheep rock, the elegant spires of the Three Gossips, and the dominant rectangular monolith known as the Tower of Babel. As we make our way back to the park entrance, we pass a massive unnamed monolith rock to the east, the majestic profile-shaped pillar that is Queen Victoria, and the southern end of Park Avenue to the west. Before you depart, or even when you enter, make sure to visit the Arches National Park Visitor Center, located near the park entrance. In addition to on-staff rangers, there's also a gift shop, a small museum, and a really cool topographical 3D map of the park. Just a half-hour southwest of Moab is the Island in the Sky district of Canyonlands National Park. After a quick visit to the visitor center and a cool rainbow scene to the north, we walked across the street to one of the two overlooks down into Horseshoe Canyon. Daring to go as close to the precipice as possible, the dramatic viewpoint unfolds over the vast, layered canyon below with a 1,000-foot sheer drop. The famous winding Schaefer Trail is carved into the sandstone cliffs as it sharply descends. Minutes down Grandview Point Road is the Schaefer Canyon Overlook. From atop a flat mesa plateau, this overlook offers a few different perspectives of the canyon and sheer sandstone cliffs. Continuing south about 15 minutes, our next stop was the Green River Overlook. There is a 20-plus space parking lot that leads to a concrete walking path just a few minutes from the overlook. The viewpoint offers a 180-degree panorama of the Green River Canyon, showcasing how the river has carved deep fissures, known as goosenecks, into the layered sedimentary rock. The view is unique because it provides a spectacular vantage point over the convergence of the canyons, formed by the Green and Colorado rivers in the distance. About 10 minutes northeast is the unique Whale Rock, a massive rounded sandstone butte that resembles a beached whale. While its shape is interesting, its best feature involves a short scramble to its summit for a commanding 360-degree view. As you return back to the main road, there are a few pullouts to the west that oversee the Upheaval Dome, Holman Canyon, and the Holman Spring Basin. The best pullout is the appropriately named Candlestick Tower Overlook, with sweeping views from towering buttes and the Candlestick to the Maze District, with the white rim in the distance. The Candlestick Tower has been featured in multiple films, including 1997's Con Air. At the end of the main road is the Grand Viewpoint Overlook. From a surprisingly small parking area, the main platform is only a few minutes walk down a well-paved flat path. From the top platform, you can gaze down into an utterly unique landscape carved by the Colorado and Green rivers. the maze of mesas, buttes, and spires, including the distinctive formations in the Monument Basin and the Distant Needles District. Down a number of steps provides a slightly different perspective of equal magnificence, especially of the dinosaur foot-shaped canyon caused by the converging rivers. Our last stop in Canyonlands was the Schaefer Trail viewpoint, featuring iconic and dizzying switchbacks of the Schaefer Trail as it descends the sheer cliff face. In the immense basin below, the striking fortress-like formation of Castle Rock rises, illustrating the powerful scale of canyon erosion. As we made our way back to Moab on the UT 313 East, there was a never-ending array of views. Our first pullout was the Plateau viewpoint with its iconic view of a long flat-top mesa, followed by distant views of the Monitor and Merrimack Buttes to the east, and Southern Plateau with a distinctive cow pie-shaped rock. The Monitor and Merrimack viewpoints provides a much closer vantage point of the two massive Entrada sandstone buttes rising from the Navajo Sandstone Plateau. The next morning, we departed north, then east and south toward the Fruita Historic District. Despite the incessant rain and fog, we were still able to see some interesting rock formations and even slowly began to see some mid-October foliage. The first stop in the Fruita Historic District was the one-room Behunan cabin, illustrating the difficult, resourceful life of the settlement's first pioneers. Continuing west on UT 24, we saw towering sheer cliffs of deep red and yellow sandstone layers exposing the massive water pocket fold underneath. Just a few minutes down the road from the cabin, the striking petroglyph panels left by the Fremont people centuries before the first pioneers arrived, showcasing these magnificent ancient rock art glyphs. The Fruita Schoolhouse represents the later organized community, serving as both an essential education center and social center for the canyon's children and families. Finally, the impressive Pendleton Barn, a larger frame structure, reflects the community's eventual agricultural stability and prosperity from the thriving orchards that remain a popular feature of the area today. After the barn, we stopped by the Capitol Reef National Park Visitor Center, then took a few moments to admire the castle and the rim overlook directly across UT 24. Continuing west, we passed the Fluted Wall, Mummy Cliff, and the Twin Rocks. Next, we turned south, entering the iconic Scenic Byway 12. Unfortunately, our drive was somewhat hampered by the rain and overcast skies, though it was clear enough for us to have a nice view from the Singleton Overlook and the brilliant yellow of the quaking aspens down in the valley. After climbing as high as 9,600 feet, we entered an area called the Hogback, named for its resemblance to a hog's spine. The Hogback covers 2 to 4 miles west to east and stretches 12 miles north to south from Boulder to Escalante. It features sheer drop-offs down into deep canyons and panoramic views of the canyons, with the vast Grand Staircase Escalante region below on both sides. The Boynton Overlook provides dramatic views of the vibrant foliage-filled Escalante River Canyon below. The surrounding landscape is dominated by massive striated red and tan sandstone formations. The sites continuing west are dominated by distinct layers of contrasting rock interspersed with arid scrub brush and low desert vegetation. The Powell Point Vista offers expansive views of the Pink Cliffs, as well as distant mountains and the ominous Badlands, where the views begin transitioning in geological color and form. As we continue southward, we see stunning red rock landscapes in the Dixie National Forest, sandstone formations or hoodoos, and multiple tunnels carved through the rock fins. Clear Sky Resorts offers luxury glamping in climate-controlled geodesic domes, featuring panoramic views and skylights perfect for stargazing. Other formations include the iron-rich limestone Claren Formation, weathered light-colored sandstone, and the upper pink cliffs of the Escalante Grand Staircase. At this point, we entered the stunning Bryce Canyon National Park and took a quick stop at the Mossy Cave Trailhead to admire the distinctive red, pink, and white hoodoos of the Claren Formation, which stand dramatically above the easy stream-side path of the Mossy Cave Trail. Back to the car we go to continue our journey through Bryce Canyon. Next was the Red Canyon Arch, a cinematic double experience as the road passes through a pair of iconic crimson-hued tunnels carved directly through two monumental rock fins. This creates a memorable double arch gateway that serves as a perfect entryway for the rest of the park. As you drive through, you see jaw-dropping, vibrant, towering spire formations of red, orange, and white sandstone. Our last leg led us south along the US 89. The mountain roads highlighted the contrast of evergreen forests and the foliage of autumn cottonwood and aspen trees. There is one stretch just northeast of Kanab where we drove through a winding carve-out of limestone and marls that emerged into a mountain of colorful late Cretaceous sandstone. We saw massive mesas composed of Upper Triassic Chinle Formation siltstone and multi-hued horizontal bands that vividly mark millions of years of distinct sedimentation. Passing through Bigwater, Utah, are the majestic monoliths of the Vermilion Cliffs, eventually giving way to Arizona and the sprawling Kaibab Plateau Mountains in the distance. Our last stop before heading back to Phoenix was the Glen Canyon Dam Overlook, featuring canyon views, the massive concrete dam itself, and the Colorado River flowing more than 700 feet below between the red sandstone walls. This trip proved to be a perfect multi-generational success, demonstrating that a thoughtfully planned itinerary can accommodate everyone, from husband and wife to an enthusiastic 91-year-old. The accessible viewpoints from the Grand Canyon to the Canyonlands allowed for effortless appreciation of the landscape's majesty. This region of the country is utterly unique. Nowhere else do the forces of nature, wind, water, and time create such inspiring, vibrant, and monumental artistry. We hoped you enjoyed some of the highlights from our journey and that it inspires you to commune in nature no matter your age or physical condition. We're the GloveTrotters, and we hope you enjoyed exploring with us on our Southwest National Park road trip. For more travel guides and inspiration, visit us at theglovetrotters.com. And if you loved this video, please make sure to subscribe and explore with us. We can't wait to see you on our next adventure.